Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Sholakpe Akinpelu, and I am pleased to physically and virtually welcome you all to this great two-in-one event. I am the chairman of the NBCC Technology Committee, in case you're wondering what's going on. And I'm particularly delighted to see you all, to see our council and ESCO members, to see our president and chairman of council, particularly Mrs. Bisi Adeyemi. Thank you, ma'am. And most importantly, for high achievers who have decided to share their time and knowledge with us today, our distinguished speakers, Ms. Confidence Tavely, Mr. Abimbola Owoeye, and Mr. Steve Asemota. Our beautiful moderator, Mrs. Tenny Stoffman, thank you so much, and she'll be doing great justice to the conversation today while sharing more about our distinguished panelists with us. I also have to thank our sponsors, PwC, SBI, and CobraNet. Recall I said today's event is a two-in-one event because it is first our tech event themed emerging trends in technology and its impact on Nigerian businesses with a focus on cybersecurity and data analysis. Two big deals we all should be concerned about. And it's also, on the other hand, the graduation ceremony for our NBCC Tech Academy Cohort 2. I think we should give that a round of applause. Thank you so much. But before we proceed, please indulge me and rise as we observe the national anthems of Nigeria and Britain. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please sit. Before we begin, please allow me to state some housekeeping guidelines. For our physical attendees, questions will be answered during the question and answer session. Please raise your hands and a microphone will be brought to you. For those joining us virtually, if the volume is too low, kindly check your system volume. The event is being recorded and will be available live on our YouTube channel, Nigerian-British Chamber of Commerce, NBCC, that's the name. To comment and question and discuss, use the chat icon. Submit your questions via the Q&A, as only questions shared via the Q&A button will be answered during the Q&A session. For posts on social media, kindly use the hashtag NBCC Tech Event 2023. Please join me now as we welcome our President and Chairman of Council, Mrs. Bisi Adeyemi, to give her welcome address. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sharafi. Good morning, Deputy President, ESCO members here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and our dear graduates. It gives me pleasure to welcome you to this event themed Emerging Trends in Tech and its impact on Nigerian businesses, cybersecurity, and data analytics. Several emerging trends in technology have had the potential to significantly impact businesses, especially in the areas of cybersecurity and data analytics. Some of these trends include artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, ML, 5G technology, which we discussed a few weeks ago here at the NBCC, Internet of Things, edge computing, blockchain technology, cybersecurity, automation and orchestration, data privacy and compliance, and a few others. These emerging trends can have a profound impact on businesses, offering both opportunities and challenges. And it is thus crucial for organizations to stay focused with these trends, invest in cybersecurity measures, and adopt data analytics to remain competitive and secure in an ever-changing technological landscape. Today, we have the privilege of hearing from subject matter experts who will provide useful insights on best practices that can ensure our businesses remain resilient in the face of cyber threats, as well as obtain true value of data in driving business success. It also gives me great pleasure, today that we are graduating participants from the second cohort of the NBCC Tech Academy. Indeed, it's a dream that has, run full circle and come to fruition. I'm very excited that this has happened. So I congratulate the graduates, and we're looking forward to more of them joining us as we proceed. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoin you to sit back and take advantage of the learning that will take place this morning. I cannot go without thanking our sponsors, in particular PWC, DataFlex, and Cobranet for supporting the Academy, and SBI Media Global for supporting this event. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the morning.
Thank you so much, Madam President, and thank you for your attention, distinguished guests. We'll be going straight into the conversation of the day, and we'll be opening that with a presentation from Ms. Confidence Tavely. Ms. Confidence is joining us virtually today because there was an abrupt change in her schedule. However, I can assure you, all of us joining virtually and physically, that we will be having an engaging and insightful time with her. So to quickly introduce Ms. Confidence Tavely, she is the founder and executive director of CyberSafe Foundation. Confidence Tavely is Africa's most celebrated female cybersecurity leader, talent developer, global speaker, and inclusion advocate. She has achieved numerous professional certifications and industry recognitions. Confidence is an official member of the Forbes Technology Council, an invitation-only community for world-class CIOs, CTOs, and technology executives. She has been recognized as a Cybersecurity Woman of the Year award in 2021 and 2022, International Security Journal 2023 Influencer, Top Cyber News 40 Under 40 in Cybersecurity, LinkedIn Top Voice for Gender Inclusion, Top 50 Women in Cybersecurity Africa. I think she deserves a round of applause. She is an alumnus of some of the most prestigious fellowships across the world, such as the 2021 Obama Foundation Leaders International Visitors Leadership Program. Confidence has spoken at over 120 conferences, a testament to her global thought leadership and influence. She's the founder and executive director of CyberSafe Foundation, a leading non-governmental organization dedicated to improving inclusive and a safe digital access in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Ms. Confidence Stavely. Over to you, Confidence. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that rousing applause, and thank you so much, Shalapa, for that very warm introduction. Thank you for listening in on this conversation and thinking cybersecurity is something very important to learn about, because a lot of times cybersecurity is seen as an afterthought, but the organizers of this event have been thoughtful enough to really think about how we can innovate and look at the trends in cybersecurity and make sure that our businesses are secure. So thank you so much for creating this forum, where I get to speak to these amazing graduates and everyone else in the room. As rightly introduced, my name is Confidence Stavely, and today I'll be speaking about emerging trends in tech and its impact on Nigerian businesses with a focus on cybersecurity. This is going to be a very interactive.
Hello, Confidence. Looks like you're muted from your end. We can't hear you. We still can't hear you. Is this part of the presentation? Do you want to log out and re-log in? Thank you.
Okay, can you now hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, great. So I'll just go on with the presentation. So it's going to be 15 minutes of really quick interaction, but we'll make the most of it. And I would share 7 major trends you should be on the lookout for and how that impacts your business. And also I'll be sharing, 7 things that you should be thinking about as well, because this is not a beer parlor conversation. So this is not something that you get to hear, oh, this is happening and that is happening, but you don't know what to do about it. So this is a very actionable conversation we'll be having. So please, I indulge you to, speak to me, and really engage with me as we go along. But first and foremost, I want to highlight something that I've found as arching thing that I've seen across the ecosystem on the continent. We are innovating so much. I mean, we have a lot of solutions coming out in just about every industry you can think about. Technology is changing things on the continent. But although we are innovating at a very fast pace, at a very fast speed, I like to, liken it to the speed of a cheetah. We are not securing at that pace. We are securing at the pace of a snail. Some of the times when we see even security being considered in our development or in different ways we use technology in our businesses, it's more on the back of compliance. So you're literally forced by the regulator to comply to certain standards. And that's where we see a lot of businesses even start off on their cyber resilience or cyber security journey. So this is something that we have seen as quite a trend. I'm hoping that the people I'm speaking to today begin to incorporate cybersecurity from day zero, such that their solutions, their businesses are secure by design. It's not an afterthought. It's not something that you slap on after the regulators say, you know what, you guys need to comply to XYZ standard. So that's something that I wanted to bring out as an overarching, observation that I have found out. And I'm hoping that the businesses here get to make a change on that. But then the first trend that I see really across the ecosystem is ransomware. Now, for those of us who may not necessarily understand what ransomware is, it's literally digital kidnapping. So your files and your systems are held to ransom until you pay a ransom, literally. And this song, Chop Your Money, really comes to mind. Do you want the cyber criminals to chop your money, or you want to do the right things to then protect your business? And don't think for a second that, oh, who knows me as a business? Who knows my organization? Who is going to attack me? I'm one small business here, or maybe I'm just a mid-sized business. Who really knows me? But let me tell you, once you're using the internet, once you're using technology to do business, you become within the crosshairs of cyber criminals, and the low-hanging fruits are the ones who will be attacked the most. So if you're not doing anything or anything tangible about cybersecurity, very soon the cyber criminals will chop your money, and we don't want that to happen. The second key trend that we're also seeing is that there's a large adoption of cloud for different businesses of different types, and it makes perfect sense. I mean, you want to really scale your investment in technology and have storage and all this kind of infrastructure, generally speaking, as a service, and enjoy all of that in a way that helps your business be more accessible in other countries. For example, if you're thinking about other countries, allow people to basically enjoy your service from anywhere they are, right? So it makes sense. Cloud security, cloud computing makes sense. But what we have seen is that there's been an adoption of cloud computing without the attendant attention paid on the shared responsibility model of adopting the cloud. Yes, the cloud system and infrastructure is secured by the provider, which in some cases could be Amazon, with AWS, could be Microsoft with Azure, could be Google with GCP, and all the other service providers. But what we have seen is that people do not realize that there is a responsibility for them to also secure the data that is stored in those buckets or in those online cloud platforms. So it's important that you think about this as an Owambe. A party in Lagos, for example, I mean, we could have a very big party where everybody's invited. I mean, some are not necessarily open to everybody. You get an invitation, and then you are able to attend. But let's assume this Owambe is open to every single person in Lagos. You can come. But then while you're coming, you have to make sure you buy your Ashwebi. If you're not dressed in the Ashwebi, I know some of us attend this kind of events where if you're not dressed in the Ashwebi, there will be no souvenir. In fact, you may not even see food to eat. So I want you to take that thinking around it to the way also the cloud and security of the cloud platforms actually works. It's a shared responsibility model. You get, the cloud provider gets to do something, and then you also get to do your part. So leaving out your part is what we've seen a lot of Nigerian businesses fail on. They just have their data in the cloud, their systems in the cloud, and they're not really maximizing the built-in security functions. The configurations are faulty, and then data is leaked. So I also want to bring our attention to something called social engineering. I mean, that's big grammar for deception. It's something that is a trend that we've seen over time for years, and it's still winning. Why? Because although we can patch systems, although we can secure systems, and systems are getting harder to hack, the humans that are behind the systems, without the right knowledge and the right training, will become softer targets for cyber criminals. So why do I need to work so hard at hacking your system systems, when I can hack the humans behind the systems. And that's where social engineering comes in. It's literally, in very simple terms, the way cyber criminals get to deceive people into taking harmful actions. This could be clicking on a link that's a phishing email. It could be divulging sensitive information by replying an email. It could be downloading or opening an attachment that is containing a harmful malware, something that harms your computer or that steals information. And there are different types. So cyber criminals are thinking to themselves, why are we breaking our heads to try and hack the systems? Let's hack the human beings. Let's send an email here. Let's target this person and then get them to take the wrong actions. And that's exactly how people like Hush Puppy made a lot of money. And now, although he's facing, prison time and everything, there's so many Hush Puppies. There's so many networks of people like Hush Puppies across the world targeting Nigerian businesses, some of them from Nigeria, some of them from outside of Nigeria. And you need to bear in mind this as well. So when I'm speaking about, what you should do, remember that some of what you should do should be training your people, training you also, being part of that training to be able to help your people stay immune and then protect the minds of your people against, cyber criminals using deception as a tactic. And then something to really bear in mind in the sense of what are the trends. We have AI now, we have ChatGPT and we're also happy, right? AI is helping us, do a lot of things easier, helping us create images for our businesses easier and all of those kind of things. But AI is also a double-edged sword. In the hands of cyber criminals, AI is making it easier for them to create convincing targeted phishing emails, leading to a lot of business email compromise attacks. Now, because I don't want to use words that you don't understand, I'm going to break down what business email compromise is. The guy in the picture to the right attacked businesses in the US, and what he simply did was he created an email that looked like it was an Office 365 login. And then when you click on the link in the email, you get to log in your information, and then he steals that information and is able to log in to your account as you. And then when he logs into your account as you, and usually he targets like CFOs, so chief financial officers, people that work in the accounting team, right? And so he targeted this man, and then he was able to get into his account. And from there, because he was a CFO, he sent an email. He studied how the man sends emails and how he requests payments. So this guy, Victor Sobi, then made an invoice that looked like one of the vendors that company actually uses for their service, but changed the payment information on that invoice. And then he, impersonating the CFO, sent an email to the account team saying, oh, make this payment for this vendor. So of course, Oga CFO said, make a payment. Of course, the accounting team made a payment, not knowing that they were paying millions of dollars to Victor Sobi. And he had so many other victims, but this was his cup being full. And from there on, the company that was supposed to be paid actually now says months down the line, I have not been paid. What's happening? And then they got to find out that this was what was happening on their systems. That whole story I just told you is just what business email compromise is about. So when cyber criminals are able to create more convincing phishing emails, by phishing I mean deceptive emails to deceive you into thinking that you're speaking to an authority figure or someone that you naturally would do business with, right? They will send those kind of emails, and then that leads to this kind of attacks that we call business email compromise. And AI is helping with this, so I want you to be mindful of that. So I want us to play a very quick game, very, very quick game. And please, I want to hear the audience as we go along. I've spoken about business email compromise and everything around social engineering a bit, as short as I can make it. But now I want to also share something about how cyber criminals get to do this. One of the ways they get to do this is they use urgency. So they use emotions like urgency, fear, to drive quick action without thinking. But our game that we're going to play next is going to really help us understand this thing way more, right? So please, I want to hear the audience. And I'm going to show my slide in 2 seconds. What I want you to do is answer my question in 5 seconds, really quickly. I want an answer to this question really quickly. And I want to use this opportunity to apologize to anyone who is not a Christian here. I'm really sorry. I'm not excluding you. This was the quick example I could use. But if you're a Christian, you will know this story, right? So I want a really, really, really quick answer. Are we all ready? So I'm going to count down from 3, and then I'm going to show the slide. 3, 2, 1. Anyone wants to answer the question? Anyone, really quickly? Can I hear the audience? Anyone wants to answer the question really quickly? The online audience, the physical audience, anybody wants to answer really quickly? I'm not hearing the audience. I'm wondering if they can hear me and what they're saying. If a mic can be brought really quickly, I can see some people talking, but I can't hear what they're saying. How many animals of each kind? Uh-oh. I can see the lady answering there. Uh-oh.
So Confidence, can you hear me?
I can now hear you, yes.
Yes, so she answered that the answer is none because it is not Moses, it's Noah.
Okay, so I'm hoping that someone else had answered something different from her. Who else answered something different from her? Anyone else?
I did, or I goofed. I missed this one.
So I'm happy that you actually acknowledge. So she's correct. Please, let's put our hands together for her. The lady who said none. I have done this game in many events, and every time many people do not recognize that the question itself is wrong. Moses was not the person who took the animals into the ark. We all know it was Noah, right? We don't need to have been scholars, Christian scholars, to know this. If you attended Sunday school at some point, you will know this. But what happened was, because I made you answer the question quickly, I made you want to just respond really quickly. Your brain did not fully process that. And this is exactly what cyber criminals do. They use urgency. You know, I need those details quickly, and then, you know, they make you take actions that are harmful. They use fear of missing out, fear of something going wrong. You know, they call you and say something. Meanwhile, they're the ones that are going to create what's wrong on your accounts right now if you give them your information. So that's one way. That's one of the many ways that cyber criminals really get to do what they do. A fourth threat, because I know that, again, our time is fast spent, and I will try to run through this as quickly as possible. We also have the insider threats, and a lot of our employees, you know, may unwittingly be spilling information that is sensitive around the company, or may actually be intentionally sharing this information with people that could, you know, cause harm to your organization. Insider threats are a big issue in cybersecurity. And then I like to use African proverbs, right? This particular proverb does a lot for this conversation. I don't know if you know it, but it says a lone broom cannot sweep the compound clean. For all of the businesses here that are in the audience listening to me, you can't do business alone. You'll be providing a service to other organizations, or you will also be receiving, and you'll be receiving services from other companies. Now, because of our interconnectedness as a digital ecosystem, locally and internationally, whatever threats hits some of our partners, some of our service providers, some of our clients may also filter down to us. And we're seeing increasingly how supply chain attacks are hurting businesses globally. There was, you know, a major attack that happened this year in another part of the world that Nigerian businesses got also hit by it. And it was a ransomware attack, and it just flowed down the whole ecosystem of, you know, some of their service providers and some of their customers. So this is what I want you to also bear in mind. How are you protecting your business from this kind of attacks that, you know, just filters down the whole chain? Another key attack we're seeing, this is 6th of 7th, so I'm really going to go off very soon, is credential stuffing and account takeover. Now, what do I mean by this? A lot of us use one password everywhere. Or you have two passwords that you've used since you were in high school or in secondary school. You know, what happens is that over time there have been security breaches, which means your password may have been, you know, stolen in, say, a Facebook hack, or your password may have been leaked in, say, LinkedIn being attacked, or any of those platforms. Now, if you're using that one password everywhere, what happens is that cyber criminals buy those databases of passwords, and then they attack people. They spray them around the place, just trying to get in. Now, if you've not been changing your password frequently, which a lot of people are guilty of not doing this, your accounts can be taken over. This could be your social media accounts, which we have seen over time, could be your cloud account. You know, if you are the admin of your cloud account, or someone in your organization is the admin and then has a sort of really bad cyber hygiene best practices, I mean to say, this is what's going to happen. So we're seeing a lot of account takeovers because passwords are used and reused over time. So I like to call it double wahala, because then you've had the first wahala with your account being your account details somewhere else being compromised, and then those same details are used somewhere else. Or we also have incidences where I don't know if you played this game in school, but we used to do for the posh people in schools, it used to be eeny, meeny, miny, mo, father has, you try to pick one thing from the other. Cyber criminals are doing exactly that. And for some of us that attended Paco schools, is Timbo, Las Calaba, that's exactly how we do to pick our things. So either of these two schools that you belong to, whether it's eeny, meeny, miny, mo, or this Timbo, what we've seen is that cyber criminals are doing exactly that with login information. They're trying to guess your login information and get into your account. So if you have a very weak password, the eeny, meeny, miny, mo is going to land them right into your account. And this is something that you need to really avoid. The last one, is IoT devices that are really, really coming into our ecosystem. And I like to think about the IoT devices with this particular proverb, which is an open door invites the wind. It's an African proverb. Now, what do I mean by this? If you have a door open, anything can come in. Stray animals can come in. The wind can come in. Rain falling outside can come into your house. So we've seen that a lot of IoT devices, we're not paying close attention to them to make sure that they are to make sure that they have a strong password, and all of those best practices that are generally advised. And so we've seen that this has become an open door for cyber criminals to attack organizations across our continent. And I'm hoping that you pay close attention to this. Now, again, I said this wasn't a beer parlor conversation. What do we do? What do we do? What do we begin to do differently? And I'm asking 7 questions to help you ask and think after listening to me. The first is, does your company have the right culture, and do you empower your employees to protect, against cyber threats? Do you have a cybersecurity strategy and budget in place? A lot of us may say no to this, but I want you to begin to think about how to do it. The next key thing I want to ask you is, do you know all your digital assets and which assets are most important to your business? It makes perfect sense that if, for example, your website is the most important tool in your business, then you should protect it, because that's your crown jewel. That's what gives you money. That's what you should expend the most on protecting. So knowing what your assets are and prioritizing which ones are the most important will then show you which ones to invest more in and which ones to invest first in. Another key thing is, are you implementing essential cybersecurity controls? Now, a lot of people think about cybersecurity and say, oh my God, it's so expensive, it's this and that. But simple things that are already there for you that won't cost you money. For example, is there 2-factor authentication turned on all your accounts? For example, that's free. The tools is the data on your computer, encrypted? For example, do you have a firewall protecting your website? All of these things are just, the barest minimum you can do. So before you begin to talk about it being expensive or not, can you do the barest minimum that makes you become not a fruit on the ground, but at least a fruit high up? So cyber criminals will need to stretch a bit to reach your business and attack your business. I'm almost done. Please just stick with me. I know I've gone past my time. Again, if how do you detect, how do you respond, how do you recover? How will you know your company is hacked? And what would you do about it? Because it's not a matter of if, it's when you get hacked, right? So how would you know that this has happened? How would you respond to it? How would you recover? Another key thing I want to ask you is your cybersecurity posture being independently validated? Do you know where you are as a business in terms of your cybersecurity stance, or in cybersecurity jargon, your cybersecurity posture? Do you know where you measure up, how you measure up? My last question is, are you incorporating cybersecurity best practices for cybersecurity into your new product designs? That's a question I really want to ask you. And just to close out and begin to take questions, I want to give you this assignment. We've spoken about social engineering, and for some people, like, oh my God, I can't be scammed. No, you're just like, no, I always know legitimate emails from illegitimate emails. But are you very sure about this? If you want to take a test to really know if, yes, you really know legitimate emails from phishing emails, I want to challenge you to take this quiz. So scan the barcode on my screen right now, or on the screen you can see right now, and begin to take this test from Google. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm open to taking questions right now.
use of what's it called now? Social trends to explain, the concept of cybersecurity. Thank you so much once again, ma. All right, so we are here right now in this session to take questions, and she provides answers before she drops the call. Anybody in the auditorium with questions, please? All right. Okay. So while we're waiting for that, there's a question here which says, how does an upcoming business prevent themselves from cybercrime? Is there a software to help with that? Did you capture that?
Yes, I did. Thank you so much for that question. And I want to say, first of all, there's no one way of doing this. Cybersecurity also is not a destination, it's a journey. So I'm going to have a couple of pointers that I share with you. And I'm also going to drop a particular toolkit that we created in partnership with the UK government to help small businesses, stay more secure. I would say, first and foremost, if you use this toolkit, you would have access to free tools that help you become more secure. For example, help you store passwords more securely and enable you have passwords that you change frequently and don't have to remember top of your head. So those kind of best practices are things that you should do. How to turn on two-factor authentication is laid out in that toolkit as well. So you'll know how to do this across all your tools. Managing your digital assets and creating an inventory of them. There are tools and there are policies as well there to help you. So some of the best practices I've mentioned here are captured in that toolkit to get you started. The key thing is to get started from where you are and improve from there. And then when your business, is able to afford better, you can go past that and begin to do more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link to that toolkit. That toolkit also has even a free antivirus that you can use. I've spoken about malware, for example. So that particular toolkit is going to have an antivirus, bundled in there, but it has like tools that will help you improve your cybersecurity posture. So what I'm saying that to say is there's no one way to do it. So I cannot say there's one software that when you install it, you will not be able to get hacked by cyber criminals. No, it's actually a combination of people, processes, and technology, which means you need to train your people using the toolkit I'm going to share. You need to be able to use the tools there. You need to be able to use the processes there as well to protect your business.
Okay, so the second question I have here, I think you've actually mentioned it in the process of your presentation. It says, how do you know a phishing email when you see one? I think you mentioned that for whoever has that. Okay, sorry. Let's pass the mic.
Excellent. So what is going to happen? Yeah, if you scan this code, this is not just a quiz that gets to test your knowledge. It actually teaches you as well what to look out for. So I would highly recommend, no matter how advanced you are, how knowledgeable you are in tech, please just scan this code and test your knowledge. Not just testing your knowledge, learn more about phishing. It's very important. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Please, let's take advantage of the code. All right, let's take you, sir.
Maria is my name. Security of your data in the cloud. To what extent is my landlord responsible for my security when I'm a tenant? So please explain for that to me, because if I have my data in the cloud, I'd have expected that my landlord up there should keep me more secure. Thank you.
Okay, what's your name? Sorry, I didn't catch your name. I like to address people.
Arihe is my name.
Ekele.
Arihe.
Okay, Harry. Okay, so can I call you Ekele?
Yes, please.
For sure. Okay, great. Excellent. I really love the analogy you brought, because that really just helps us with the conversation very much. Now, your landlord has provided these security tools for you, like a door. Your door closes and it has a key, right? What if after the landlord has done that, you lock your door and you put your key on top of your doormat? Will your landlord be responsible for you getting robbed? Or your landlord has provided a gate. You have the responsibility of hiring a security guard. But the security guard you hire is the one that sleeps in the night, or rather, the one that sleeps in the night, sleeps in the day and night. So when the armed robbers come to your house, who is going to challenge them? No, so those are all analogies. Or for example, your landlord gives you a door. correct door, right, with a lock and everything. Well, you forget to lock your door. When armed robbers come, what's going to happen? So those are all things that there's still anywhere you want to look at it from, there's always going to be a part that you play as that tenant to ensure that the tools are available to you, that you also use them. If, for example, you two as a tenant, you say, you know what, every time you're posting a picture online, you're posting with your full address, contact me here, and you're putting your home address. Again, your landlord cannot protect you when people that are unhappy with the color of your jacket choose to come and visit you and say, okay, and we're not happy with you, and they beat you up in your house. The landlord had nothing to do with that. So you see, that's where I'm coming from also. The shared responsibility requires that the infrastructure is protected in most cases by the vendor providing that service to you. But you, the tenant, putting your data in those platforms are responsible for the configurations and many other things that help the data stay more secure. Thank you very much. I can't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can. Thank you.
All right. My question is, we have about 7 emerging trends. Of course, cost in this part of the world is something we reckon with. After doing the basic one, 2FA, and the rest of them, which one should I focus more in case I cannot care for all of this? So which of these trends is more common in this part of the world?
That would depend on your kind of business, actually. It will depend on your kind of business. It will depend on your size of business as well. So, for example, if your business is a small business, you won't really worry about IoTs per se. But if you're a mid-sized business, that's a big problem. You need to check that as well. So it depends on the size of your business, and it depends on many other factors. But what I want to say first and foremost is, if you believe that you're moving past, the basic things you need to put in place, it's very important that you hire a cybersecurity professional. What that person is going to do is, one, the person is going to do a gap analysis. Where are you? Assessing where you are now versus maybe where you should be. And then that person is going to plot a roadmap. So you may not be able to afford to do everything now, but little steps, that you can take to improve your posture as you go along. That is one way to attack the problem. Another way to attack the problem is to come from a compliance perspective. So, for example, if your industry, if you do anything in banking, for example, and you collect payment information, or you process payment information, or you even transmit payment information, there's a standard called PCI DSS. Now, complying to PCI DSS actually means that you have complied to the lowest standard possible to keep data secure. So compliance can be one angle as well to also begin your cyber resilience journey for your business. So I would say, first and foremost, just to wrap up my answer, to hire a cybersecurity professional, that person will be able to advise where you are versus where you should be, and then be able to chart a roadmap of little steps incrementally that can help your business become more secure. Another key thing is to come from the compliance perspective, because compliance, like ISO 27001, has prescriptions of what you should do as a business to become more secure, and those are all angles you could come from.
Please let's appreciate Madam Confidence once again. It's been a very beautiful presentation, and the way she also answered those questions. So, Madam Confidence, I hope that the next time we're going to, have you are going to attend physically. All right, thank you. Please, let's appreciate our.
Let's hope so too. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So, thank you. So, right now, please, let's take our sponsors hard. And I want us to really appreciate SBI Media Global. They've been very, supportive, and then they've also really, really sponsored this event with something very, great to be able to allow each and every one of us to be here this morning. Please, let's appreciate SBI Media. Please, if the video is ready, can we just... right, thank you. That is from SBI Media Global. Yeah. Okay, so right now we're going to be moving into the panel session, and I'm going to be inviting to the podium the moderator. But before she comes on stage, I want to do a little recap of our profile. All right, so our moderator is Mrs. Tenny Stoffman. And just like I said, I'll read through her profile briefly, and then she comes on stage. So Tenny Stoffman is a serial entrepreneur and fintech expert with over 17 years of experience in the telecommunications industry. She is currently the co-founder of Future Pro Digital and the executive director of business development at Vastunet Technologies Limited. Tenny has a demonstrated history of launching vast projects and fintech implementations in Nigeria and other countries. She has received recognition for her work in mobile banking services and mobile health as well, including being recognized by GSMA and MEF at the Mobile World Congress. Tenny recently finished her certifications in ESG with CFI Institute and holds degrees from various prestigious institutions. She is a member of several professional organizations, including GIAI Africa, the Boardroom Africa, WIMBIS, IOD, and SIOP. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning, please help me welcome Madam Tenny Stoffman.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I believe I can sit. Okay, so thank you for having me and my panelists this morning. So we're just going to leverage on the heat of the moment. The first speaker really helped us by giving us a fantastic introduction on cybersecurity, right? So still in the same moment, I'm going to be inviting our panelists before we start the question. And please note, this is going to be an interesting conversation. Right. I'm smiling already because I can just imagine some of the questions that can come. So first, I'll be inviting Mr. Abimbola Oweye. I'll read his profile now. Mr. Abimbola Oweye is highly accomplished professional, currently serving as a country lead for Dell Technologies, with over a decade of experience in the field of technology and communication. He has made significant contributions to the growth of Dell EMC in Nigeria. Mr. Oweye has been instrumental in managing telecommunications partnership between Dell EMC and other telecommunication companies, effectively bridging the gap between the two entities. He holds a BTech degree from the esteemed Federal University of Akure. We went to the same school. And has further enhanced his expertise through executive education at Harvard University. Over the past 2 years, Mr. Abimbola has played a pivotal role in Dell Technologies, exceptional growth, and success in Nigeria. A round of applause for him again, please. Thank you. So I'll be inviting Mr. Steve Asemota. Steve, thank you. Steve has over 15 years experience in the data and analytics space, serving in different roles across enterprises and different industries, financial services, retail, healthcare, government, and many more. In Canada and recently in Nigeria, he is a thought leader in the creation, acquisition, management, and utilization of data assets to transform and create economic value for today's enterprises. His key areas of focus include data-led transformation of enterprises, embedding data governance, implementing modern architectures, high-impact advanced analytics, use cases, and data asset monetization. He is currently privileged to serve as the Chief Data Officer for First Bank, where he is responsible and accountable for the development and execution of bank's data strategy. Data, they say, is king these days, right? And funny enough, he came from Canada to Nigeria, where we have some people jackpying. He's coming in to add value to our country. So another round of applause. Okay, so, because I like to get your attention, I said I was going to read a story before I start the questions. So please allow me. Let me put this here. Right. So I want to read us a story, just buttressing on data, cybersecurity, new technologies, trends and happenings, our new norm, our new reality. You will all agree with me that this is our reality. This is our new norm, right? Today you have smartphone, you have smart everything, but the information we are putting there, where are they going to? That's a very critical question that we'll be asking ourselves. But before then, let me just read this story. So according to the Financial Times, Americans who have been misspelling email addresses have been sending sensitive emails to a small African country. Many emails that were supposed to go to the US military, addresses ending in @MIL, were going to Mali because the senders were typing @ML. This has been going on for 10 years. And the US Defense Department, just on Monday, told the register that messages going from its email system will stop misspelled emails. However, people sending emails from their personal email service won't be protected. Now, the lesson is remind your staff, remind yourself when you're sending to check before you send. And this is the beginning of phishing, right? If you're sending from America and your mail is going to Mali, you can imagine what an expert in Mali can use your mail to do. Right, so that's one story that I feel I've been able to use to catch your attention. I hope. Great. My first question is to Mr. Asemota. How much of today's divergent technology should a business owner know?
Well, I mean, thanks for the question anyways. I think you should know about everything that impacts on your business. As the owner of a business who's responsible for making business and the outcomes expected, you should not be naive. Because whether you know it or not, some of us, I think today, most of our business footprint is probably online, either directly or indirectly through platforms we subscribe to. So it could be on Instagram, it could be on Facebook, it could be on any platform that of your choice, really. So if you're not aware of the diverse technologies that impact your business, you're one, exposing yourself to risks, maybe cyber risks in some cases, but also missing a lot of opportunities. Today there are a few items. So Ms. Confident spoke confidently earlier about cybersecurity. There's data. There are new AI tools that you can leverage that can lower the cost of your business. You guys have been exposed to ChatGPT or generative AI technologies. So in summary, really, you should be aware of everything that most likely will impact your business because it might decrease your costs and improve your chances for revenue. So that's the summary.
So gone are those days where you tell your staff, open Facebook for me, or open Facebook in the name of our company, or open this account for us, and all that, right? You think the business owners should still be responsible for such?
Well, ideally, it depends on the size of your business. If you have a business that is fairly sized, you probably have to staff it. It's probably organized and structured, so you'd have people responsible for certain functions. So in that case, your hiring process will be key, right? You hire the right person to be doing those things for you. But if you're a small business trying to start up, then at least it will help you to kind of manage things yourself from a cost perspective and from a risk management perspective as well.
Great. Okay, so let me come to you now, Bimbo. What are some emerging technologies that are specifically targeted towards the SMEs?
What are some Imagine text. Okay, I struggled actually to try to narrow down to.
I think it's actually targeted to all businesses, right? What technology do you think businesses should see as tools to leverage for them to scale?
Okay, so apologies first. We deal with so many, enterprises, big. So if I want to talk in terms of enterprises, the large corporates, then you want to talk about, number one, having your ERP. And if you want to go to the next generation of what the trends are today, you have your data lake. And from your data lake, you build models.
I think you should talk about the ERP more. Why so? Because, we're talking about SMEs, right?
Okay,
so
SMEs
let's just buttress it. Let's speak layman languages.
Yeah. Okay. So let's come to the traditional way, to traditional business, so you can relate well. You creating value, and you are exchanging value for money. That's what's called traditional business. So what you want to do is, there is a business existing. You need data. You need to know your customers. You need to know the extent of the value you're creating and how it's changing with time, and the relevance of it in as situation presents itself. So it's emerging. It's not static thing. Hence, the essence of the business now to grow is it has to scale. When you can sell from the roadside to 2, 3, 4, 5 people, you want a deeper reach and a stronger reach into your business across the globe. Hence, you digitalize. Then you open up yourself to the world. Otherwise, you can remain small because your competition is growing big. For you to even do anything today, you have to come. There is a minimum threshold where you can start from in order to be profitable. So I'm trying to get it right. So in digitalizing, digitalizing your business in order for the reach, imagine we have about 8 billion people in the world now, and you want to expose your business to the class, to that number, in order to get patronage across the globe. So if somebody in Canada, where my brother came from, wants to patronize you, he needs to be able to see and be offered a service. Then he needs to be able to pay. Then the logistics that needs to deliver the service, and maybe it's going to be digital delivery, going to be physical delivery, needs to happen. So with this in mind, you need the platform that will consistently keep your data, where the customers too also can reach you. Some using Instagram today, using all those platforms to reach, we call something, some are go-to-market, which are what gives you that exposure. Before, what was trending was when you advertise in the newspapers or you advertise on the television. If you're still doing that, I don't know how much you can. Now it's transitioned to YouTube, where people are creating content, you're creating adverts, you're able to sell your adverts on YouTube. That gives you a much, much more global views. So, but how then, to the context of today, how then do you now prevent yourself from the attacks in that once you start to leverage the platforms, which are the digital platforms, the ERP, you need to, most people today, I can't say go and buy your own ERP. There's ERP for small, medium businesses. However, there are those that you can subscribe to as a service. That comes cheaper because you're very much aware of how much a Sage or those like products cost you to start. So subscribing to a software as a service with it's a better and cheaper entry for you, and that then does not need you to put cash up front, so much cash up front. So you literally it's starting, enjoying the service as you grow. And then I think predominantly ERPs and leverage more software as a service across where easily you've delivered a service, you can automatically generate invoices and they are kept, the record are kept well. And, Confidence did so much. So it's done the whole work actually in our presentation saying your landlord, it's not enough, will give you the basic thing. But as your businesses grow, you need to do the needful by adding more to safeguard your data, because what are the guys looking for? They want to steal the information, they want to steal your money, they want to steal what's valuable to you. So firstly, I think the first thing is when you have defined your strategy, then you need to open up yourself to what is available. Is it for the tools for go-to-market or tools for operation to operationalize your business and tools to market your business? So it comes in different components. And I don't know if I need to start.
Yeah, I think you've hit some nails on the head for us. Thank you very much. Now, to that question, leveraging on that question, one thing that came to mind is software as a service. And I always campaign against freemium. A lot of times people want to download this app because it's free. Especially for businesses, it's extremely dangerous, right? Steve, can you enlighten us on some successful stories and also how you see, freemium, these free services that it's on the app, especially on Android apps, where you can easily, because iOS is a bit secured to an extent, but on these other services that you can just download them and you find they tell you adverts only, but before you know it, a lot is happening behind as well. Do you want to share experience and also give us success stories on for not for freemium, of course, I don't preach that. Success stories of SMEs in particular that have leveraged on services, digital services and solutions that have been able to help them scale, if you know any.
Okay. In the marketplace here, I haven't studied the marketplace here quite deeply, but I'll just say generally, the small, medium enterprises that I've seen scale did things in a certain way. One is also emphasizing the value of data for business growth. Whether we realize it or not, the reality is a business is a data-driven entity. Before you even decide what you want to provide, you use data to determine that. You might feel I want to do something, but the market might not reflect that feeling. That's one. So leveraging data to scale is the key thing. Your kind of customers that you want to reach, how do you reach them? You reach them by, for me, I think the easiest way to reach SMEs, especially because of they have a low capital outlay, they're cost sensitive, is trying to get data of customers people who most likely buy that product. You can get it from different repositories. You pay for it, obviously, but it's more, the results are better than doing a Hail Mary, just blasting communication out there and hoping to get a response. Another thing is really taking advantage of some of the low-cost platforms. Now, if you're in e-commerce, for example, there are many low-cost platforms out there. There's Magento, there's Shopify. I know in Nigeria there's a Flourish store, there's a GT store. Different banks have their marketplaces that also help you at least reach. On the advertising dollar side, I know there are different ad options from social media, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram. But if you want to be successful, at least in Nigeria, at least from what I've seen, you can do that Instagram ad and all that, but you just get impressions and stuff. But if you want to target the people who most likely buy, your best bet, from my own view, is to look at transactions. You have all bank transactions today are reflected in NIBs. You can engage the banks or engage the NIBs, try and get a sense of total spend in retail, total spend in a particular sector, and all those kind of things. Volume, activity levels on a daily basis, and use that to kind of size the market. and see what the opportunity is, and then use that to invest your own energies, whether it's targeted ads or whatever. So I think that my own view, anyways, you need data to scale. Without data, I don't think you will scale much, at least from a cost perspective, anyways.
And data,
yeah,
you're referring to data as, data can be seen as two different things here. Data can be airtime and data.
Oh, no, not that one. I mean, data about the market, so not the phone data, yeah? I'll give you an example. So today, I have SMEs who come and they want to find people or profiles of customers who meet a certain threshold. Spend rate, they spend in hospitality industry, for example, or spend mostly in retail, for example, or spend in airlines, for example. I don't know the total spend for 2022. Just it's not private information. Just spend. How much is spent by cardholders across in this market in 2022? Breakdown by IBOM, Airpiece, blah blah. So they can get a sense of the amount of money that people are spending. If they're going to plan to provide a service in that value chain, they already know how much is outlay, how much is available, right? Mm-hmm. They might also want to know, I have a product that is a high-value product. What kind of profile should I target? Your bank, you know the profiles of everybody and the average. You can give them a sense of the benchmarks, just a sense of the different classes of people economically. And they can know how to now price their product and who to target. So that's kind of data, I mean.
Thanks. So for that kind of data and focusing again on SMEs or any business for that matter, how do we internally grow that organically, right? Such that, okay, so for example, do we need to put a team together internally to focus on generating data to be able to grow your business? Or is it something, so hiring data, for instance, that can also be sensitive, considering what we've just learned about cybersecurity now, right? So do you want to, start growing that organically yourself? Do you also want to put yourself into knowledge, acquisition so that you can have a lot of information left, right, and center to be able to generate the kind of data you want to grow for your business? Is that required? If it is, then can you shed more light?
Obviously, it's helpful if you have someone who's a data resource within your team, or you yourself.
Do you think every business should get a data resource first off?
Well, you should be if you're a small.
So business. CEOs should be then.
So I was looking at small businesses. But every business owner drives their own strategy. The strategy should be driven by the market and data. That's my own view. I'll give you an example of a big firm that's been successful. I don't know if you know of Walmart. Walmart is a big retailer. Walmart's transformation, I'm just using an example, but you can apply it to any business. I think around 2006 or 5, I'm not sure now. But they were like any other retail store. They had big chains and all that. But they noticed that they were not optimally using things properly, right? So what is they transitioned to a very data-driven business, just in time. How much volume of products should I hold in my stores? That's data. What's the potential demand rate over the next week in stores across the country? That's data. They started collecting a lot of data and using that data to make decisions. For small businesses in Nigeria here, if I were to start a business today, a small business in Nigeria here, with a low capital outlay, I will engage different data providers. I know they wouldn't give me personal information. I don't need that to start my business. I just need indicative numbers, indicative sense. So I want to start a business. I want to start selling hair, for example. Just example.
I'm looking at the ladies.
I mean, it's popular, right? I want to start selling hair. What do? And I have maybe, 1 million naira to start. So I have little money to start selling hair. It's important that I spend that money judiciously to get the highest yield. So I'll go and buy some data, not personal data, like I said, just aggregate data. How much people spend on the hair in Lagos in 2022? How much have they spent this year? Those kind of things. And you can get that through, because people pay by transfers, people pay by cards. So you can get that from banks. and it's not personal, so it's not then that's risky. Then you know, okay, this is how much, this is the number of transactions that happen, this is total amount that was spent. Okay, now I want to start selling. Okay, who are the people that bought hair? I mean, what kind of people bought hair? I mean, yeah, so this kind of thing, location-based, yeah? Location-based, what kind of people? Were they mostly men because they had, you know what I mean? You don't know. So you got to target, you got to invest targetedly. You can't just be blitzing through. Yeah. Maybe the men are the ones buying hair for the wives. They want 4x4. I don't know what kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So maybe. So I heard that yesterday. I don't know what that is, but they want all those things, right? Now, how do if I only have 1 million naira, I can't be guessing on how I'm going to spend this money. I need to know, okay, everybody in this room, only people on this side bought hair last year. Maybe they will buy again this year. So I will send my messages to them. These guys have not bought hair. They don't buy hair. I just see them at the barber shop all the time. You know what I mean? So those are the guys that I'm targeting. So what that means is my conversion rate will be higher. My bang for buck will be higher if I hit this guy. If I hit you guys, everybody here, it means I spent on everybody, but only a portion give me yield.
That is very true. I mean, I just remembered a foundation sometime back wanted to focus on maternal and child health care in a particular state. And the research we did, we were able to discover that actually the men were the ones paying the women. They are paying the women to go to the hospital. So if you're going to incentivize them, if you give the women the money, they will spend it on food or on their children. They won't spend it on themselves. So we had to give the fund to the men so they can give to their women. So sometimes, I mean, this is how data actually helps you, decipher how you want to focus on your business and generate revenue in time, right?
Yes, and just to add, the reason why people are trying to steal from you is steal data, because data is the most important asset.
Yeah.
You're not trying to steal the name of your application. You're trying to steal things about you, because that's really what's important.
That's where the money is. Yeah. So data, again, is king.
Right.
Okay, so back to you, Bimbo. Let's talk about skill gap, especially in workplace, right? So I think we had a bit of that earlier on. But just to buttress on the fact that a lot of organizations belittle the essence of having technology experts internally to help them, secure and also grow the business. So any idea, any thoughts regarding the extent of, especially in Nigeria? So a lot of times we see developers, you see DevOps, software developers and all of that. What about the new technologies? We're not hearing more of expertise in that area yet, so maybe you can just give us your thoughts.
Skill gap is it's a growing crisis.
It's a growing crisis, I agree.
Thanks to Ashimoda for coming back. The only few we have being exported.
In data space in Nigeria.
Yeah, and it's a huge concern because you can see even that the last National Assembly was trying to put together laws to inhibit people from jackbuying, But to accurately try and put perspective to this, there is, I think, times also bring ingenuity on how to bridge the gap. Gone are the days where somebody has to be in the four walls of a building before you can extract value from the person. So we need to open our minds to exploring the global space in terms of skill acquisition and bridging the gap in terms of the need that is required. There are quite a number of startup groups and businesses where you can get an executive assistant as a service. You can get a business developer as a service. You can get many of these services that we and I'm exploring that because it's you can't even find what you think, and they come at good price. I mean, to come through too. So I don't want to also paint a bad picture, but and the reality about Nigeria is that we have population, but the good population, for the skillful population, it's not encouraging. I don't want to be negative, and there was a role we were interviewing for. We interviewed over 2,800 people. We didn't find 5 good for the next level. And yet we say there are no jobs. And I'm also sorry to say this, I'm looking for a driver, even as I speak to you, but I can't find a driver. Because it's, for some reasons, and I'm not going to blame anybody, blaming it, but we've not been deliberate about imputing the right discipline, the right skill, even at minutest requirements in terms of skills in the country. Education is something not to talk about. Let's talk about the unskilled education area. For example, the technical college. Yeah, the technical colleges. Yeah. This is what makes SMEs. I mean, the artisans. Have you tried to construct a house in Nigeria? Have you tried to do things? You do it yourself. You literally do it yourself, other than just, put it here, things like that. It's really calls for emergency. As little as that. Have you tried to patronize the furniture makers? What you order for is not what you always get.
True that. True.
Or you want to talk about mechanic, servicing your vehicles. So it calls for emergency. So before we even talk about the enterprise, the huge enterprise like the banks and everything, they're all suffering. Most of the banks, the apps are not working because the skills have gone. The ones who have managed it before have gone. We all tested our strength in February and March, where we talked about cashless. Extremely good policy, but you can see how unready we are as a nation to the reality of what scale we should be operating in.
Thank you so much for that, Bimbo. And I think we can actually monetize the fact that we have the population to build the skill here, to even add to our GDP, even if they are leaving the country. We can actually make money out of the fact that they are building their skills and they are going to develop those skills, which is bringing back inflow into your country, either by FX or by sending money to their parents and all that. And the good thing about it is we have graduates here today that has been able to acquire some fantastic skills in the tech space, and I believe that would be I see few numbers. I hope that the next time we have seen graduate, we'll see hundreds of people willing to learn, right? It's continuous education. It's not something you just stop and then allow yourself to, just think that money will start coming afterwards. We are in their need of great skills in the country, and it doesn't stop at just tech. It's also in all kinds of business. The other day I saw a man in the train cleaning, and he was carrying an LV bag. And I was like, my goodness, this old man carrying an LV bag. But he was so happy to be doing his profession as a professional cleaner. Earning his wages, or whatever he was earning, and living a good life contented because he was that professional. That's where we lack some skills, even in character, emotional intelligence, and all of that. We put all of that together, makes you a perfect asset to any organization. So I think it's something we need to delve on going forward, even here in NBCC as well. So let's wrap it up so that we can take questions, right? So I will take maybe one last sentence from you, Steve, and then also from you, Bimbo. So starting with Steve.
Thank you. I'll just emphasize the importance of data. I know there's a maturity. The market is maturing slowly, but today's businesses have a lot of opportunities that previous businesses didn't have. You have overly digitized environment, low cost of entry, and you have data available for those who need. So if you need some kind of guidance around how to leverage that to scale up your business, always feel free to reach out. I'll be available to chat. Thank you.
Wow, that's a fantastic one. So please take his number. You have someone to help you already. Okay, so before you give us your 1 minute round off, let me just quickly say that the online participants and physical, everybody here, please prepare your questions. We would like to, we'd like to take questions for online participants as well. Please, please.
Yeah, what do I say then? I mean, I will agree. I can agree more with my brother here, and but more importantly, the value, either you're in business or you are an employee or you're working for an organization, there is only one thing that is common among all. It's value. Be valuable. And it's not a destination like Confidence said earlier. It's a journey. Imagine if you had a video club business 10, 20 years ago. Yeah, I'm sure you had a lot of traffic coming in. But transformation, time, and emergence of trends in technology has enhanced and made you to become irrelevant. Until you're doing something like Netflix or Apple TV and the likes of it before you can effectively compete. So value keeps emerging. Somebody asked me, when am I going to retire? I said, I wanted to retire at the age of 55 so I can travel the world. But new reality is that there is no retirement. Yeah. Because, when you retire, you're waiting for your boarding pass to cross over. No, man, value never dies. I mean, our minds needs to keep, emerging. We need to keep expanding. Life has become like a bubble that the more, it's converging. As it's converging, it's blowing up. The size of the market today, yesterday, is tripling per second. So imagine how you keep the pace in being valuable. And that means you need to keep engaging your mind. You will never suffer dementia and things like that as long as you keep doing that. So value is transient. Let's become more valuable per day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we are up to take questions, but before then, let me just quickly add 2 things I'm taking away from here. Is data is king, value is essential, and I will top it up to say leverage on your network of influence, leverage on where you are, the people you know, to be able to help you scale the value that you're providing with the data that you're going to be acquiring, right? Thank you. Questions? Do we have questions?
Thank you so much. Really enlightening, and I really feel for you guys put on the spotlight. I'm not sure whether I can deliver the way you did. A question is just touched around, right? And it's for Steve, because I think that's your area. Data is the king. I'm thinking, is it possible that we'll get a befitting palace for this king, so that all the emissaries that need to can just go to a central palace and they visit the king and get information, rather than having different odd houses, mod houses here and there holding this our valuable data? What do you think, especially in Nigeria? I've seen some organizations that, you guys seem to have more data. Let's collaborate. We pay a certain amount of money to get this. I'm thinking, we have like an enterprise data warehouse, a centralized one that will have accurate information. I'll use myself as an example. I have to do something on my check online. My this retirement, what do you call this thing? Pensions. Thank you. So I just logged in and I saw that my data there definitely will not be me. The only thing made it me is because I have the login detail, And when I got there, the home address, everything, and that is what the organization is holding. Okay. And if you go to some other places where by footprints, you probably see something else. So is there a way, I mean, is there something that could be done to have an enterprise data warehouse? Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't get your name, but I was just... Sorry, Moraki, okay. Thank you for the question. So I'll answer in two ways. So first thing is, within an enterprise, within an organization like a telco, like a bank, or the pension provider that you're referring to, they probably will have a warehouse for their own purposes. Everyone balkanizes their data sets because it's valuable. If I make it open, I'm not getting any value from it. You know what I mean? Yeah. However, from a market standpoint, there needs to be some kind of way for collaboration to enforce some level of interoperability across different sectors. So the banks, the telcos, the government, things like that, so that it's easy to just go from one boundary to another boundary without, or create another palace that you refer to. But that's something that is still very early, because there's a certain level of maturity that's required to get to that. I mean, within this market anyways. Even other markets, people still balkanize. I've been discussing, and this is as First Bank Chief Data Officer really, with different partners to see where there's value in integrating like that on behalf of the customer. But to the challenge you just highlighted, now we have a data protection law in Nigeria. So you have the right to rectify that information that you saw. So you don't just leave it there and complain. You also engage a rectify. But I think, and I was speaking to somebody in public sector earlier, that the monetization opportunities for data in this market are huge, unprecedented, but the investment required to harness that will need to be made.
And just to add to it, I think that's where the regulator also comes in, because it's a combination of, cleaning the data, essentially, because what information you have here is different from the one you have there, but when you have a regulator that can enhance that, then it makes it easy. Combining the telecoms data, for instance, to that of banking data, to your NIN data, and then to your driver's license data, to all of those, synchronizing all of that, you require one big regulator out there that is yet to be formed, I believe, because all of them are still skeletal, that is yet to be formed, to aggregate all of them and then clean that data. Else we'll be having, they won't know your name is Jimo Aliu, for instance, and then they are stamping another name for you, Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that it actually becomes the responsibility of all of us as Nigerians to start becoming responsible by demanding the accountability that is required on our leaders and the people in place of authority. Because they're setting us back, we like it or not. I mean, some people don't like to say that. The truth is, the data we talked about is the asset that a nation needs in taking decisions. So I'll paint a little picture in your mind. India, about 10 years ago, similar demographics, were similar in behavior, culture, and everything, but embarked on a project called Aadhaar Project. Aadhaar Project, which is similar to our NIMC NIN project in Nigeria. And today, 2 months back, because I follow the project, Dell actually is part of the project, so I follow the project so well. And today, India is the known most populous country in the world. Having in a single repository over 1.5 billion identities of people. On top of that is models being built for financial inclusion, healthcare. So if India comes out to say 30,000 people are infected, trust me, it's accurate. And then decisions can be made, businesses can be formed, because you can clearly see value. You can imagine when you know, oh, I have 80 million people to buy my goods accurately, then you can start to source your supplies and then create your value. So we, like we said, we have PENCOM, we have NCC, and I know for a starter, 2015 November, Buhari instructed then that they should consolidate the data.
Can you imagine if you had sent your driver to buy you a SIM card, and your driver had used his name to get you the SIM card. And your name rather, but his picture to get you the SIM card. And by the time your data is coming out, it's showing his face, but your name.
So the nation have to start to put concise effort into data and how we manage our data. I know there is what we call the data bank in Nigeria.
Yes, we have data bank.
What's happening to that? You can't even fetch anything from that.
I agree with you.
I know some companies have started to aggregate data and sell in terms for marketing purposes. I am not giving cheap advertisement. I know Terragon and quite a number, and I think 2 or 3 others that are selling data. So we can try to take advantage of that in a little way. But imagine when we have this opportunity and we are annexing it. That's beginning for us. And I think data indeed is not just the king. Mm-hmm. Data is great value.
It's great value. And Nigeria has got a lot of data. We can make money for the country as well. Any other question? Okay. So I think we have finished our session now. So I'm going to be handing over. Right. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right. Let's appreciate our speakers and moderator once again. Sorry, before you go, we'll have the president to hand over the gifts to you. President, ma'am. Thank you. Let's appreciate our speakers one more time. All right. Can we have the videos on from the communications team? All right, thank you. All right, from our Tech Academy graduates, we have 3 representatives that will be representing each of these classes. The first class is product management, while we also have data analytics and also UI UX. So for the presentation by the best graduate of product management, Damilola Adebanjo. Let's have you quickly, please. Let's appreciate her.
Thank you, sir. Good day, everyone. My name is Damlala Adebanjo, and I'm currently a student with product management class with NBCC's Tech Academy. Okay, so I was tasked with creating a product that offers savings and investment solutions to its users. And the product I came up with is what I'll be presenting to us today. Okay, so our product is FundBud. Our product is FundBud, and FundBud is a Nigerian fintech company that offers said savings and investment opportunities to its users. It's a digital product that just, helps you manage your finances, organizes your personal finances, and also helps you encourage saving culture and, manage your financial risks and decisions. So what is our brand? Okay, so the colors we chose for FundBud is orange and green. And green is just represents wealth. Subconsciously it represents wealth, abundance. And for orange depicts, energy, it's creative, the playful nature and down-to-earth nature of the company. So ultimately together, these colors help to present a company that, offers not just creative, but down-to-earth and, trustworthy investment solutions and savings. Okay, next. Okay, so what are our product features? We offer fixed deposits, we offer investment opportunities, automatic savings for those that want to link their physical bank accounts to FundBud accounts. We offer free transfers, virtual cards, and it's very user-friendly with referrals and bonuses. And yes, moving forward. So this is just a prototype of what our app is going to look like. We can see it's very colorful, easy to use. This is the savings and the investment interface for the mobile app. And we also have a website mock-up of what our website will look like. Okay, so it's very friendly, user-friendly as promised. And, you get advice on financial decisions you need to take. Moving forward. Okay, so who are our audience? Right from time we have established that, we're trying to look at millennials, Gen Zs, those young people with earning capacity that, trying to find out ways to save their money. So this is our potential audience. And using our user personas, we can see examples of our typical user. So our user personas, an example is Esther, who is, a final year student trying to save money after school. She lives in Yaba, 20 years old, and trying to save her money. So that is a typical example of someone who would benefit from FundBud. Moving forward, who are our competitors? So these are just the major competitors we have in the market currently: PiggyVest, Cowrywise, InvestBabu, and Kuda Bank. But what our difference is that, and our advantage is that, we offer virtual cards, and we also offer, competitive and juicy interest rates to our users. These young people that are just starting out, and, it's beneficial for them, as well as, enhanced user experience. Youths, they very much like colorful, interesting things. So that is what we offer. And then for our pre-launch activities, when we want to launch our product, we're going to engage in several marketing strategies. So we have social media, email, influencer marketing, using the press. These are examples of our outdoor advertising, using beta testing to, make sure our product is right for our audience. And then finally, for our growth projections, we are looking at, after 1 month post-launch, having 10K users saving at least 5,000 naira with us on a monthly basis, and having 80% of our customer retention. And at the end of the day, hopefully we would have 2% market share, 2% market share with our target audience. So thank you so much. You can contact us if you need more details.
Thank you so much, Damilola. Please, a round of applause again for her. I'm actually shivering right now, and it's mixed feeling. First, because I feel intimidated. I'm a fintech founder myself, and I'm like, okay, we just gave birth to another competition right on that. And then with a lot of pride, because 3 months ago, Damilola, her cohorts, they had zero knowledge about product. And then with the NBCC Tech Academy, they walked into this place, and today they are going to market with a brand new product. Please, another round of applause. And so that's why I had to come here to thank all of us, to thank our president, and for this idea. It was a baby. This is the second cohort. And to thank the real heroes behind this, because this comes to totally free to these graduates today, but then sponsored by responsible and responsive corporate citizens that we've acknowledged before: PwC, Cobranet, and am I missing any other? And Dataflex, SBI Media, sponsored this event. We are super, super grateful. And what it means, especially when we're talking about bridging skills and all of that, is that with responsive actions like responsible actions like this from organizations like ours at the NBCC, we can actually bridge the gap one person at a time. So I'm so grateful and so happy to see that. And then we can all say that from here is fund board to the world. Well done, and thank you so much. And I'm a bit salty that you didn't include Harvest as one of your competitors there. We have about 30,000 users. You should, acknowledge that we are huge. Yes, you're just us aside. And with that, I would like us to bring on Doris Ememonu for the presentation for data analytics. And thank God we have the data gurus in the house. Thank you so much, Doris, and well done to you guys.
Thank you, everybody. Good morning. Yes, my name is Doris Ememonu. I am one of the graduates for today from the NBCC Tech Academy, and I learned data analytics. So in the course of my study, I was given a project from Omrido International. Omrido International is a company that is into exporting agro products from Nigeria to the world. So we got a data from their human resources department. So basically what we did to this data set is to actually look into the data of all the staffs and be able to identify their areas of strength, their weaknesses, and also be able to profile solutions that will help manage the staff better and also give them a better work environment. So one of the key objectives we analyze the data on includes to assess the reason why the employees leave the organization. We also looked at investigate the retention level of the organization and also the earning powers of the various gender within that organization as well. And we also looked at the means of recruitment for the organization. So the first analysis we did, in carrying out this analysis, we leveraged on Excel, SQL, and Tableau. So these are basic things we learned. So the first analysis we carried out include the reasons why people leave the organization. And from this chart here, we can see that the first reason is that the staff got another position in a different organization. And the second reason is unhappiness within the organization, which the organization needs to look into. So the second analysis we carried out is, sorry, the next slide, please. So we also looked at the source of employment for the organization, and we can see from this chart here that indeed is a veritable tool for the organization to onboard staff, as well as LinkedIn. We can see other ones that play very minimal role for the organization, which the organization does not need to pay attention on. The next slide, please. So here we looked at the earning powers of all the staff, and we also compare it with that of male and female within the organization. And we can see here that there is serious unequal earning power between male and female who work in the same organization, but just for the sales department where we have equal earning power between the male and female. So here we have a table of 20 persons who are frequent, who does not come to work as frequent as they are supposed to. So we have them we have people who missed their job, who missed to come to work for about 20 days within a year, which is a lot for any organization. So here we have top 10 managers who did so well that their people who work under them were very, very satisfied, and most of them exceeded their performance level. So here are some of the key findings. One, we found out that a lot of people within the organization are unhappy, which we think the Omridon needs to look into. We also find out that Indeed is a veritable source for employment for the organization as well. And here we are seeing that a female within the organization is earning higher than the male counterpart in the organization. But we also recognize the fact that there is an unequal earning power in that organization. So here are our recommendations. One, we are recommending that Omridon International should look at the best practices of the top 10 managers and try to replicate or duplicate whatever they are doing well across all other departments. So we also see that the issue of attendance, the Omridon is to look into their policies around attendance and see how they can make it a bit easier for their staff to be able to apply for leave, sick leave, and emergency cases as well. So we also look at compensation. We recommend that top 10 managers and those staffs who performed very well in the course of the year should be compensated in order to motivate them and also help others to learn from them and help the growth of the company generally. So basically what we have from the data analysis carried out is that Omridon International have key issues they need to attend to help them boost staff satisfaction within the organization. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Isn't it amazing that from zero skills in tech, we now have people, amazing ladies like Doris, overhauling a company and then, showing them the best way and the pathway to growth. That is what happens when individuals and organizations like yourselves, ourselves, and brands like PwC, Cobranet, and DataFlex come together to strengthen and empower willing minds. Please, let's give them a round of applause going for acknowledging brands and the willing minds who've committed to this. We also have to acknowledge Next Innovation Hub, who is our executing partner for the great job. We are happy to see this. Most importantly, I actually have to come out to plea for virtual attendees and physical ones. We are here, we're representatives of brands. This is an opportunity for you to elevate your brand and also pay forward. We intend to start the next cohort, which will be the third one, by August. We need your commitment to help us mint minds like Damilola Adebanjo, Doris Ememonu, and Shalom Obasi, who I'll be calling upon now to present the UI UX. This is the last presentation, and then we'll proceed to the certification. And just to say that, yeah, we are rounding up pretty soon. Thank you so much, everyone. Shalom Obasi. Thank you.
Thank you. Good day, everyone. My name is Shalom Obasi from the Tech Academy UI UX class. And today I'm going to be presenting the case study I did for a fictional company I created called Winded. Please, can you go to the next slide, please? So Winded is a fictional moving and courier services company that aims to give their users the best moving experience. They provide a comprehensive range of moving services and want to make the moving process easy and smooth for customers. Next slide, please. To better understand the needs and pain points of customers during a move, I conducted user research and gathered insights through interviews and competitive analysis. I created a user persona to highlight the key findings. Here we have Rita Akpan, a 37-year-old pharmacist who is married with a child and is based in Lagos, Nigeria. Rita is a dedicated professional who, I think this is the wrong one. Sorry about that. Rita is a dedicated professional who works in a pharmacy, helping people with their medications and health needs. She is passionate about her job and takes pride in providing the best care and advice to her patients. Outside work, Rita enjoys spending time with her family. She also embraces technology and digital products and tools that simplify her daily tasks, whether it's utilizing apps. Thank you. One moment, please. Go back to the previous slide. Thank you. So users often face challenges in finding reliable movers and managing logistics efficiently, leading to inefficiencies in miscommunication and stress during the moving process. Our goal is with Winded knows that moving can be difficult, so they want to make it simpler through an intuitive and user-friendly website. Next slide, please. So here we have Rita, a 37-year-old pharmacist who is married with one child and is based in Lagos, Nigeria. Rita is a dedicated professional who loves helping people with their medications and health needs. She requires a reliable courier service to deliver pharmaceutical products to her pharmacy. She is also relocating with her family to their newly built home and has to take care of the moving process due to her husband being out of the country. Her pain points are she feels overwhelmed with the moving process and struggles to understand and keep track of tasks and deadlines. She also wants a messaging system that allows her to communicate with the Winded team, track progress during her move, and receive updates. Her goals include to move homes and all goods without stress and to get a cheap and fast moving experience. Next slide, please. Based on my research findings, I brainstormed solutions and designs that addressed the identified pain points. I also decided to go with a minimalistic UI design that shows the easy and smooth booking process. Here you can see the initial sketches I had and a little mock-up of the hero section of the landing page of the Winded site. So now this is the prototype of the landing page. And if you can scroll, you can see through the design principles of hierarchy, typography, and alignment, I was able to make an energetic and fun site for a moving company called Winded. Here are some of the reviews that I added, and through the help of colors and shapes, I was able to bring it up to life. So please, can you go back to the presentation? So in conclusion, through an iterative design process, I successfully developed a digital platform that simplifies the moving process for its customers. And by addressing pain points, Winded now provides a seamless and stress-free journey. Thank you.
All right, please, let's appreciate the three best graduating students once again. They've done really well. Okay, so next on our agenda is to present the certificate to our graduates today. And we'll call on the president to hand this certificate to the graduates. So graduates, please let's have the list. Please, let's welcome the president one more time.
Just before I start, I would also like to, writing on the back of what Shalakwe said, that this, again, is a dream come true. This is the second cohort that we're graduating. And it started as an idea, that, wanted to try and bridge the gap that we have seen in the tech space, where we have more male participants and female. As with everything, when we started, there was a lot of pushback that why women, which is why you have the men amongst them. But again, and this is just me admonishing that when opportunities abound, it's one thing to complain that, we don't have enough women or we don't have enough people in tech. When we then make the platform available, because it's totally free, with the help of our sponsors, PwC, Dataflex, and a few others, it's totally free. All the participants had to pay was an admin fee of, I think, 25,000 naira. So for a 3-month course that has allowed them to do what we have seen, definitely it's a bargain. But then, we didn't get enough uptake. I think this time around we had 35 or so, and we have a large class that can accommodate as much as 100. So I'm just saying and appealing to all of us here, those online as well. Let's spread the word. We have capacity to take at least 50 in each class, and if not more. And again, to, harp on what Dr. Shalakwe has said, we're appealing to those of you who represent brands and organizations. Let's pay it forward. We're also, doing ourselves a lot of service as well. Because if we have the talent, those who are jackpying would be replaced. Because easily, one of the ways that you can, curb the impact of, migration of talent is when you then continue to replace those talents as intentionally as you would. So on that note, I would like to congratulate all those who stayed the course. I know that some started and didn't finish, so congratulate those who ended. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And because they are Gen Z, Shalakwe and I were discussing earlier on, not all of them are even here. So they finished and they're like, okay, well, send me my certificate. All I need to do is, take it and then go and do what I will do. So I also thank those who took the trouble to be here. And I will not forget to thank our partners, the Nest. Thank you very much, year in, year out for supporting us with this. We continue to look to you for your support. So we'll start calling the participants. Embassy Winifred, maybe.
Okay. Folao Ezekiel Adekunle. Oladimeji Oluwafeyisayo Loretta. Please, let's make it snappy. Okeniyi Jesu Tofumi Oluwabukumi. Teresa Ifi, this one. Shodimu Genevieve Adeshola. Adeola Ireolua. Shodimu, are you around? Adeola Ireolua, next. Oluwadamdola Nest. Adebanjo. This is Adeola. Ezibikwe Osita. Shalom Obasi. This one. Shalom, please move close. Doris. Shalom. Brendan for Doris. Brendan. Okay. Brendan, let's have you. Ekelem. That will be the last person. Sorry, Mirabel, please, can you confirm my Oteju's certificate?
She's actually a medical doctor, and she decided to take this. Please, a round of applause for her whilst we wait for her certificate to be brought. I don't know where she found the time, but it shows you when you are deliberate about something, you would always make the time out. And she's here with her daughter today.
Ayoteju. Olamide Oloyede, please. I think that's all. Thank you, Madam President. Sorry, is Valentine Onye in the building? Oh, sorry. Madam President, sorry, we have one more person. Please, can we bring all the certificates? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. All right, I'll invite to the podium my chairman, Mr. Tajuddin Ahmed, the chairman of Programs Committee of NBCC, to take the vote of thanks this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Shegun, for your effort as Master of Ceremonies. Okay, on behalf of the Chamber, I would like to thank our speakers, starting from Ms. Confidence Stavely, who presented so confidently, Mr. Abimbola Oweye, and Mr. Steve Asemota of First Bank. I'll also specially thank our moderator, Mrs. Teniola Stoffman, for the excellent job she did moderating that session. I especially thank the President and Chairman of Council, Mrs. Bisi Adeyemi, for excellent leadership at all times. I also recognize members of our EXCO and Council for attending physically and virtually. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for coming to this event. Members of the Technology Committee, ably led by my own sister, Sholakwe Akinpelu, for our leadership and for taking this from initiation and visioning to actualization. Finally, I would like to thank members of the NBCC headquarters for organizing this event. Now, this is not in the script, but I think I need to do a detail to do this. The three best graduates are presented. I prophesy that they are future CEOs, and I think they should stand up for recognition again. Damilola Adebanjo, the potential CEO of Fund Board in the future. Doris Ememonu, the potential CEO of a company that actually worked for Omrido International as client. Then finally, Shalom Obasi, the man amongst them who is not shy, actually, Shalom, the MD of Winded. I wish you guys all the best. And again, prophesy that in the next few years, we'll hear your names as CEOs of tech companies by the special grace of God. Seasoned technology gurus. Our upcoming events are two. We have our NBCC B2B webinar with the Chambers of Commerce of Coventry and Warwickshire, which holds on Wednesday, July 26, 2023 at 10 a.m. We have our annual general meeting of the Chamber scheduled for Thursday, July 27, 2023. It's going to happen at the Plaza here. Now, this Plaza we're seated here today is a state-of-the-art facility. We're actually the only bilateral Chamber of Commerce that has an owned facility as its headquarters. I say it with all sense of responsibility. Every single Chamber of Commerce in this country operates from rented apartments, both NBCC. So this is our property, and it's available for rentals. And our rates are very, very affordable. Finally, if you're interested in becoming a member of the Chamber, you can visit our website, www.nbcc.org.ng, or meet our membership team at the registration desk. Finally, please follow us on social media to be informed of all our activities. On Instagram is at NBCC_NG. On LinkedIn is Nigerian-British Chamber of Commerce. And on Facebook, Nigerian-British Chamber of Commerce. I thank you all and enjoy the remainder of your day. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Chairman. So just before we go, we'll be taking the order of photographs. And can we have our sponsors, SBI Global, their representative, please? Yes. And CobraNet. Please, let's have our sponsors on stage to take pictures with the president. Let's make this snappy, please. All right, Madam President. All right, let's have our next. Okay, sorry, please. our speakers and moderator. All right. Thank you. Our speakers and moderator, please join Madam President on the podium. All right, let's have the ESCO and DP. Where's DP? Have the graduating students. Yes. Let's have all the graduating students. All right, please join Madam President. Okay, you can also come along with your certificates. Sorry, let's use the other side, so please. Okay. All right. Okay, all right. So just last week, we also had a training which lasted for 5 days. We started on Monday and we ended on Friday. So we have our facilitators in the building to appreciate them and also to present to them their plaques. So I'll call on Mr. Paul Omugbe to take pictures with the president and also to be presented with your plaque. Thank you, sir. Also, Mrs. Jumoke Awolumate, please, let's have you on stage with the president. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma. All right, and we have Dr. Odabo. Thank you so much, sir. All right, we also have Mr. Denrele in the building. Mr. Adenrele. Yes, that's it. That's right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Madam President. All right, so we have come to the end of the event. Thank you for coming. Okay, so as we are moving out, we have our package on the way. Thank you. See you next time.